Hi, next we want to talk about the space of time. So the space of time really means is asking if you have time to get the job done. Sometimes we get so occupied in our everyday lives that we don't really have time to do anything. It could be anywhere from going to work to having to take the kids to school, pick them up from school, working two jobs, working overtime so you could get extra finances for your house. That has to do with the space of time. So whenever you want to execute or do something, you have to look for the opportunity of time. If you don't have time to execute, then you won't be able to go. So you might have the finance, you might have the spiritual space, but you may not have the time to do it. Okay. So then that means you have to wait. Okay, you keep working, but you look for the opportunity of time, the space of time. This could come in several forms. This could be maybe you are working a job and your job closes down. Okay, that gives you time to execute something else. That there may be an opportunity lurking within that time. You need to figure out what you need to be doing in that time. That could also be in the form of you maybe getting laid off, and or in the form of you getting a vacation from work. Maybe you take a 1 month time off from work, so that gives you time. That's an opportunity for you to execute on whatever additional projects that you want to do. That is the space of time. The space of time, let me give you this example. I was working at a place, and we were in training, and they had these equipments and products that we had to take apart to learn. And every time I wanted to take a turn, somebody else would step in front of me and do it. So I never got a chance. And one day we were filing out to go for lunch and break, and I realized that nobody was in the room. I looked around, there was nobody there, and all the products and equipments were there. And suddenly I saw like a space. That was a space of time. That was an opportunity for me to learn what I needed to learn. So I went and I took the equipments, I took them apart, and I started learning about them in that space of time. Okay, how does your space of time get occupied? By you being too busy. Okay, that's the space of time. You being too busy. Okay, another way you may not have time to where time and space of the mind would intersect is maybe you don't have time to think. You have time, but your space of the mind is crowded. Maybe you're constantly worrying about something, one particular thing, or something specific, and so you would literally keep your thoughts on that one thing over and over. So you don't have time to do anything. Sometimes when the space of the mind is crowded, you tend to want to not venture into some things that you normally do. People will say you're depressed. I'm not a psychologist, I cannot say that for sure, but normally those are where stuff would stem from. Okay, you don't feel like doing activities you normally do, so it affects your time. Okay, and it affects how you normally execute and do things, so it affects your time. Your mental space is crowded. Okay, so you won't have time to do the things you normally do. So yeah, that's the space of time. You guys, people talk about on the news, talking about crimes of opportunity. That's because you are looking at the time where the victim is there, and you're looking at their routine. Okay, looking at your routine and looking at somebody's routine and finding the gaps in between it. That's maximizing on the space of time and finding the opportunity within the space of time so that you can execute and so that you can do something and get things done. That is the space of time, right? So look at your time, look at your life, and see what you have. Your time is your life. If your time is being wasted, your life is being wasted. That is the reason why it's called lifetime. Whenever God breathed his breath into man, when we were first created, that breath went into man, and it went into man with laws and rules, and it went into man with a timeline. And that timeline is called your lifespan. That lifespan is also known as your lifetime. So your life is measured in time. If your time is wasted, your life is being wasted. Okay, there's something that God calls where he restores the time. That means that one of your day is going to feel like a day and a half, or it's going to feel like 2 days. Why? Because the substance of eternity has entered into that day, and eternity is timeless. So it makes the day feels longer than it is, because it is now partnering with time. So that one day that may just be 24 hours measured in time is now feeling like it is more than a day, like it is a day and a half, or like it's 2 days. That is because it has partnered, the substance of eternity, which is timeless, has partnered with time, which has a time frame. Okay, so that is why it feels longer, and that is what God in the Bible refers to as restoring the time, right? The time that you have lost, your lost years, you wasted years. Sometimes we feel like, oh, we wasted all of our 20s, we wasted all of our 30s. Okay, God is able to restore that time back onto us. That is the space of time, that is the opportunity. And that opportunity where God is extending, or it feels like God is extending your lifespan, that's an opportunity for you to maximize. In those days, you will notice that you will get a lot of things done. In those days, you will notice that it feels like the day doesn't want to end. Okay, that is God restoring and renewing the time. That is an opportunity for you to get as many things done as possible. Right? That's the space of time.